Well, hey, good morning, everybody. This is Justice's Waiting Room. This is a daily live podcast where we discuss news and politics. We are live on YouTube and Twitch. You know what I did right before I went live this morning? I watched Bad Bunny get an award they actually earned. And I listened to their speech in Spanish, had somebody translated it, and I thought it was a great speech. And you know who fucking hates that shit? That's right. I ain't even saying his name. I'm just saying. You know who hates that shit? Congratulations, Bad Bunny. Love Puerto Rico. You are far more than 100 by 35. Far more. Alright, alright, alright. Every morning when we start this show, instead of me wasting your time sitting behind like a green screen, I don't know, picking my nose, we'll listen to Edwin Starr's War while I share that we're live. Okay? Magnificent Monday. Justice's Waiting Room, a daily podcast discussing news and politics, is live on Twitch and YouTube. Did I condition everyone that we were going live a minute early and now we're all okay? Okay, okay, okay. Let's see here. And obviously, happy Groundhog's Day, right? Or at least it was yesterday or today. I don't know. Free Palestine, Slava Ukraine. And good morning. You know who's undefeated? Punxsutawney Phil on the last 24 48 hours, dominating the news. There they are, starting to show up. Hey, everybody. I do not want to see more winter. I'm good. I'm good on all that shit. Estonia's foreign minister is claiming Putin will send thousands of criminals to wreak havoc across Europe as if that's not happening already. Let's see. How about 100,000 people rallied downtown Toronto to protest in solidarity? They are lying about how many are dead. I will tell you that as someone who works in both journalism. Oh, damn, I realize that now. I am a actual former professional journalist. I covered sports, okay? And I went to Purdue University and studied data analytics. And what I can tell you is that since there's no, we're not even close to a consensus on how many people have died in Iran, that tells me there's a reason they shut off the fucking internet and why the initial burst of information was like 20 plus thousand. Mm-hmm. And then you can see anything other than that all over the media and know that it's probably a lie. Like I gain nothing. So one of the things you got to understand is like I don't gain anything if there's more Iranians dead. It doesn't drive the story better. It's still thousands. Like to the tune of 100 plus thousand people protesting in Toronto. Yeah, happy birthday, Ange. Does feel like we are stuck in Groundhog Day. Yeah. Slovakia's prime minister's national security advisor is resigning over Epstein links. We can only hope that happens in this country, right? As millions of Epstein documents were dropped. None of them exonerate the president, but the national security advisor for Slovakia fucking resigned. I'd say Miroslav Lak. I don't even. His fucking last name is kicking my ass. Lagic? I don't know. Whatever. Go to prison. And then let's see. Canada is about to, per Forbes, Canada is about to sign a $3 billion uranium deal with India. That'll be signed in March. Ukraine's defense ministry reporting per Pravda. Sweden is preparing one of the biggest military aid packages for Ukraine. Ah, push the wrong button. Look at chat being all nice to each other and shit. Rutro. Part of the reason that you pay attention to world news is because, well, what happens all over the world, um, it tends to come ashore. For example, here's South Korean stocks falling more than 5%, triggering temporary halt in trading. Look at this shit. Portugal's conservatives back a left wing candidate to avoid a far right president. Center right leaders are taking pains to publicly reject the ultra nationalist contender ahead of the country's February 8 vote. Damn. We need someone to run for president that is far left. Hi, my name is. I'm just kidding. Trump seekers follow the. I think we talked about it yesterday. Pretty interesting story coming out of Belgium. The federal government approved a bill that would allow the state to revoke your fucking citizenship from people found guilty of serious crimes, such as like homicide and sexual assault. So they can just go to Israel. All right. And people are like, oh, I'm sure they treat prisoners better in Iran. Yeah, right. When they after they turn off the internet. Iranian authorities used mock executions and sexual violence to force confessions out of protest detainees. I want to make sure that we understand that we are slow rolling the shit out of helping Iran. Because this is like the worst shit I've ever heard, and we're not in there? Like, I don't understand. What the fuck? And all I'm saying is that up until a couple days ago, Elon Musk was helping Russia. I just want to make sure that we point this out. Up until um, last like 48 hours, Russia was using Starlink to guide Shahed drones. So would you say your friends? And then he only just stopped doing that. So I want to continue to point this out. If you use Starlink for work, you are paying money to a company that was offering guidance or that was providing guidance for drones, for Russian drones. Russia is our enemy. Russia put bounties on American soldiers. President of the United States is compromised. In Russia, they call him Krasnov. Anyway, it's too late now. Um, China is on a strong currency mission to make the yuan a global reserve. See what you did? All I want to make sure we can say his name. EVs just sold out gas cars in Europe for the first time. It's time. You know what the worst thing to know about Elon Musk is that he's not even cool. Elon's not even cool to MAGA. Like he was outside the club, if to use modern terms. Like Elon Musk was not like part of the plan. He kind of like, hey guys, I'm super sketchy. Like I'll help you do anything to get to be popular, and here you are. Hey, this is great news. The AP is reporting we are closer to eradicating the human guinea worm and are able to do that in 10 years. And then there's a nice little picture of somebody getting a guinea worm pulled out of them. That should make you want to eradicate that shit. Kill it with fire. In 2025, there were 4 human cases in Chad and 4 in Ethiopia and 2 in South Sudan. I'd say Jimmy Carter did all right. And then you notice how he didn't say, and Jimmy Carter pocketed fucking billions in eradicating guinea worm. Reuters reporting Hyundai did not exercise the option to buy back their Russian auto factory. So see how it's like on the business to have principles. Uh, buy Hyundai stock. By the way, that's a big fucking decision. And the hits keep coming. Russian drone strike on a bus killed 12 people carrying mine workers in southeastern city of Dnipro. There's no way you're pronouncing the D there. South Africa expels a top Israeli diplomat over insulting attacks on the president. All right. Ariel Seidman declared persona non grata and given 72 hours to leave the country after their remarks on social media. So here, look. The African countries ain't putting up with that shit. Oh God, don't move to Finland. Finland suffers the EU's worst unemployment, second month in a row. Finland's jobless rate was higher than Spain's last month. Sweden was third, considerably lower. All right. Euromaidan Press reporting. Russia's January assault pace drops 4%. Territorial gains fell by half. Russia's losing. It's starting to show in the numbers. Ukraine, though, is going to need some reinforcement as they start to turn the tide. Where they're expecting there to be 6 missiles, there are only 2. If that sort of makes sense. Any chance that you have to donate? Um, Gee, I don't even know who to point you towards to donate to Ukraine. Guess we'll have to figure that out. We'll have to find someone. I personally, as a journalist, am a full believer in the meme. Right? I believe that you can meme these people to death. They really are negatively affected by the shit that you say about them. There was a pro-Palestinian march in central London, and they are arresting people for it. As we say every day, Free Palestine, Slava Ukraine. Reuters reporting. Medvedev says Western claims of a Russian or Chinese threat to Greenland are false horror stories. And that's Deputy Chairman of the Russian Security Council, Dmitry Medvedev. So I don't believe him. So, a healthy fuck off, maybe? Yeah, and so Russia attacked a bus, right? Killed 12 mine workers, right? That's no offense. Those people don't make much money, like don't have a lot of education, like work real fucking hard and shit. That's an attempt at demoralization. And then here, look, Russia actually warring, right? Taking shots at infrastructure. Russia resumes attacks on energy infrastructure, leaving four big regions of Ukraine without power. Yeah, here's BBC reporting on the little tiff between South Africa and Israel. Keep in mind, these two countries are kind of the fucking problem, given that Elon, David Sachs, Peter Thiel are all from South Africa. Yeah, the only thing you did not get was the obit, right? India offers zero taxes through 2047 to lure global AI workloads. And that's how you know it's worth nothing. That's how you know it's not worth shit. They're so desperate economically. Huh. BYD sales fell by 30.1% in January from a year earlier, the fifth straight month of decline as the Chinese electric vehicle maker navigates external uncertainties and tough competition at home. The automaker sold. Wait, I thought BYD was good. Sales dropped by 30%. Damn. What's going on with BYD? We haven't really seen anything about it. I thought for sure they were going to come to U.S. markets. Malaysia seizes $130 million in crude from tankers suspected of illegally transferring oil. The vessels were found anchored and coupled at sea. Waters off Malaysia are known as a regular site for illegal ship to ship transfers. We're carrying 53 Chinese, Burmese, Iranian, Pakistani, and Indian crew members. From News Asia. Reuters reporting, barring last minute nuclear deal, the US and Russia tinker on the brink of a new arms race. The United States and Russia could embark on an unrestrained nuclear arms race for the first time since the Cold War unless they reach an 11th hour deal before their last remaining arms control treaty expires in less than a week. The New START treaty is set to end on February 5th. Without it, there'd be no constraints on long range nuclear arsenals for the first time since Richard Nixon and Soviet leader Leonid Brezhnev signed two historic agreements in 1972 on the first ever trip by a U.S. president to Moscow. Oh boy. I wonder if this is because of the Nazis. Reuters reporting Germany is closer to the US than China despite recent tensions. That was a bad joke. Johann Waterfall said. Vodafone said the United States remains the most important partner for Europe and Germany, and that Europe remains dependent on it for its security. Top U.S. and Israeli generals meet at the Pentagon amid soaring Iran tensions. That was on Friday. Meeting was not previously reported. People are speaking on conditions of anonymity. U.S. General Dan Kane, the chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff, Eyal Zamir, the Israeli Armed Forces Chief of Staff. Mexico is moving to combat pollution following Guardian investigations. After stories revealed high levels of contamination in neighborhood around factory processing U.S. toxic waste. Jesus. Who cares what China has to say about shit? The Dalai Lama won a Grammy. China said it's anti-Chinese propaganda. Let's see what the Dalai Lama had to say. Meditations, reflections of His Holiness, the Dalai Lama. I receive this recognition with gratitude and humility. China's foreign ministry spokesperson Lin Jian said it is well known that the 14th Dalai Lama is not merely a religious figure but a political exile engaged in anti-China separatist activities under the guise of religion. I mean, I received this recognition with gratitude and humility is doing a lot of heavy lifting. Um, but yeah, here's the US, the UK, the EU, and Australia, and more. About 20 countries, including the G7, states in talks on rare earths, calling for US to guarantee a minimum price. Convened by the U.S. Secretary of State Marco Rubio. Aw, Marco Rubio is going to fuck this deal all up. Oh, great. Okay. Well, here you go. And no, still haven't been back to TikTok. I haven't opened TikTok since I made that video about deleting the app. Asahi.com reporting emergency contraceptions now available over the counter. And this looks like what, in Japan? One tablet, $48. Won't be sold online. A Kremlin official confirms that U.S. brokered Russian and Ukraine talks are resuming this week. What fucking horror story is about to come up? That's what I'm waiting on. Yeah, I this just screams. By the way, this just reminds me border crossings. Just it's literally a a border crossing is the literal site on Call of Duty. Like these pictures, like pictures of Rafa. Anyway, so Gaza's border crossing to Egypt reopens in a key step for truce, but only a few Palestinians can cross. Medicine sans frontiers, more like Doctors Without Borders in a foreign language, per BBC. Israel says it will ban MSF from working in Gaza after the medical charity refused to hand over a list of its staff in the territory. The Israeli government ordered 37 organizations to submit documents about their local and international workers in Gaza, claiming some in MSF had links to armed groups Hamas and Islamic Jihad. The charity has vehemently denied this. Fucking insane! It is insane! MSF announced Friday that it would not share a list of its Palestinian international staff with Israeli authorities as it did not have secured assurances to ensure the safety of our staff. I fucking hate him. I hate him. Russia faces $14.7 billion banking liquidity deficit amid capital outflow. Such figures indicate a loss of public trust in financial institutions and the need for a more flexible regulation of the financial sector. I honestly can't say I miss it. I kind of stopped making content for it and really, I mean, you guys noticed, I mean, we didn't even go live on there. You know what I mean? Oh, I want to make sure we continue to point this out. They changed the name of the Department of Defense to the Department of War. We are not at war in Venezuela. We're not at war in Greenland. And the U.S. tells Iran that it's ready to meet and negotiate a deal. The art of the deal. The guy that shits his pants in a room full of people and they suddenly have to end press conferences is going to negotiate a deal. What deal? What deal are we negotiating with Iran, who checks notes, cut the internet off in its country and gunned down innocent people? What are we negotiating? What deal are we going to make? Remember, it's about regime change. Right-wing populist Laura Fernandez won a commanding victory in Costa Rica's general elections on Sunday. Her ruling party is set to gain a majority in Congress. I don't know if that's good. When I notice the wall of text, I'll, oh my God. There's so much tracking on that article. So pull your money out of Costa Rica now. It's only going to get worse. New York Times reporting Russia and the U.S. meet. It delays Ukraine peace talks. It's unclear why the latest round of negotiations had been expected Sunday were postponed for several days. So the problem with these data centers is that Americans are rejecting these data centers in their communities and they're just going to go to fucking India. Iran's Ayatollah Khamenei has warned the US of a regional war if Iran is attacked. I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that's gotten rid of Facebook, Threads, IG, WhatsApp, Messenger, Twitter, and now TikTok. Good on us for being the fucking adults in the room, right? I post my original content gets posted on YouTube, and then I'll share it on Substack and Upscrolled until something better happens. The Buenos Aires Times reports Argentina is intervening at a port amid funds misuse probe. National Agency for Ports and Navigation suspended the operating license of a port after detecting irregularities in the management of funds and ordered an administrative intervention at the terminal. Interesting. Yeah, and keep in mind I'm not advocating for the use of any of these platforms. Um, gosh. Protesters in Copenhagen rally for Danish veterans after Trump's remarks. Hundreds of Danes gathered outside the U.S. Embassy in Copenhagen Saturday in support of veterans who said they'd been insulted by Trump's comments. Uh oh. I said his fucking name. Burp, by the way. Jerusalem Post reporting Yair Lapid is going to table a Knesset bill branding Qatar as an enemy state. Hold on, trying to figure it out. Yep, Israel. Qatar has been acting systematically and continuously contrary to the security and political interests of the State of Israel. Israel is going to propose that the U.S. Congress also cuts ties with Qatar. Remember, war! War! Even though we can't. We literally can't. I've tried to tell people this. You can't just go to war. It doesn't work like that. It doesn't work like that. It's got to be justified. Oh God. What is it? You know what happened? You know what was super fucking lame? Three Eye Atlas. Super lame.
Are you looking to secure your home with a...
I thought we were gonna get invaded by aliens. You know what I mean? Instead, oh yeah, just a fireball streaking across the sky. No big deal. Let's see, where is this at? Is this New Zealand? Yeah, this is in New Zealand. AP News reporting a UN nuclear watchdog is discussing risks to Ukraine's nuclear safety after relentless strikes. Words. Oh, fuck. Japan Wire reporting Russia supports China's position on Taiwan, in case you know shit. And understand the reason that the Russia Ukraine war is continuing is because oligarchs, Russian oligarchs, have paid American politicians to negotiate for Russia to keep stolen land. Russia wants to keep the mineral rich territory that it can't even technically take. They keep dying trying to do it. So keep in mind, Russia trying to take land by force hasn't actually been able to do that and wants it on paper instead. We'll go get America to negotiate this for us. And people like Donald Trump and Marco Rubio and Scott Walker and Mitch McConnell, they all took money from Russian oligarchs who are invested in the development of the Ukrainian land. And so there's a reason why peace is held up and like shit is all fucked there. And it's again, it's because Russia sucks at what they're doing. They suck at fucking war. Say it. Say it. They lost over 1 million fucking people in like 3, 4 years. In case you were wondering, well, how many Americans died in Iraq and Afghanistan? 7,000. 7 fucking thousand. Do you understand how bad it is? Oh my God. Yeah, that's right. Exactly. That's what you should be thinking. Oh my God. We. Oh. Yes. The Argentinian e commerce. Well, the story was going to load and it was going to be really good. But I think we're just going to have to switch over. Yep. That's our sign. All right. It's not really that we have a news segment, right? About halfway through the show, we start saying his goddamn name, and I'm gonna start saying his name. Rest in peace, Nipsey Hussle.
Nigga, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump. Yeah, fuck Donald Trump.
It's the
Yeah, nigga, fuck Donald Trump.
the bird.
Yeah, fuck.
Moving on to U.S. news and politics, we can also talk about any of these news stories you want. They got his goddamn name in it, okay? So when I look, I say, all right, look, Trump moves to raise tariffs on Korea, and this is turbo style, because fuck this guy, okay? Every story with his fucking name on it, okay? Here's world news. World news regarding Donald Trump. Despite Korea's efforts in Washington, Donald Trump's gonna raise tariffs because he's a fucking idiot. NBC News. Trump says if Iran doesn't agree to a nuclear deal, we'll find out whether the U.S. attack would spark a regional war. So understand, Donald Trump is saying if you won't come to the table, we're going to attack you and then see what happens. This is how you know he don't know what the fuck he is doing. Let's see. Where else? Politico reporting, Donald Trump says he can solve the UN financial problem very easily. Yeah, by paying your fucking bills, idiot. So keep in mind, the major reason why the UN is having fucking financial struggles is because the US has not paid its bills. Again, make sure that we say this. It's not for any fucking weird reasons. Nope, it's just because the US didn't pay its fucking bills. Yeah, that's right. Okay, as we go down through here, yeah, I don't see. Oh. Trump says the U.S. is starting to talk to Cuba. Awesome. Just fucking pissing off our neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. President, no new wars. Also, 0 for fucking 3, by the way. No Venezuela. We ain't warring there. We're not in Greenland. This shit ain't gonna happen either. Okay? And we might have thrown some boats over towards Iran, but like, what the fuck are we making a deal for? It's not like they killed Americans. I think we're good here. Yeah, they were good on World News. The mayor of Portland, Oregon has demanded ICE leave the city after federal agents gassed protesters. They are committing fucking war crimes. It is a fucking war crime to deploy a military force against your own people and use chemical weapons. Donald J. Trump. Never forget the power of adrenaline. ABC reporting a boy 13 years old makes a superhuman swim to save his family. Swept out to sea. Mother and 2 siblings. 4 kilometers. The Irish Times reporting there are more than 1,000 references to Ireland in the latest Epstein file release. Oh, and remember all those people said that I did not have sex with that woman or whatever. New Epstein files reveal um, he might have trafficked girls to these people despite their denials. Oops. Oops. Let's see if there's any names. Jean-Luc Brunel taken into custody on suspicions of crimes, including rape and trafficking of minors. Here's a Guardian story from fucking more than 5 years ago. He's the dumbest motherfucker I've ever met in my life. Yeah. A police officer was killed and another was seriously wounded in a hotel room shootout in Georgia, per the AP. Shooting suspect 35-year-old Kevin Andrews of Decatur, Georgia. Holy shit. Son of Norway's crown princess goes on trial for rape and other charges. Marius Borg Hoybe. Just, he didn't have to do that. You know, he chose to, and there are penalties for it. Not for rich people, but in general, there are penalties for that. Apparently, Savannah Guthrie's mother is missing, and she's a Today Show host. An 84-year-old woman reported missing in Arizona been identified by officials as the mother of Today's Show host Savannah Guthrie. Nancy Guthrie. She's 5'5", 150. Damn. Measles in an immigration center. I'm sure they're being treated, right? Yeah, you know what's crazy? About the last week, Donald Trump has attacked Trevor Noah, Barack Obama, Don Lemon. What's Donald Trump? How about a racist? Moving along. Oh my god, they fucking took that down. By the way, there was a mine collapse in the eastern Dominican Republic, killed a couple hundred people. The Rubaya mine produces 15% of the world's coltan, which is processed into tantalum and used in mobile phones. I think we've talked about this. No, maybe we talked about the mine. Didn't we? Anyway. UAE spy sheik bought secret stake in Trump's crypto company. CNBC reporting. Uh, Sheikh Tanoon bin Zayed Al Nahyan of the UAE purchased a 49% stake in the Trump family's World Liberty Financial. Serves as the national security advisor, manages its largest wealth fund. World Liberty counts Donald Trump and Steve Witkoff as co-founders emeritus. Months after Tanoom purchased the $500 million stake, the U.S. agreed to give the UAE access to 500,000 of America's most advanced AI chips per year. I don't even know what the fuck that means. Anyway. Stripes reporting the USS Abraham Lincoln is one of the military assets in the Middle East. AP News reporting the Kennedy Center were closed for renovation, Trump says, after performance backlash. He will move to close the Kennedy Center for 2 years in July. LA Olympics chief Casey Wasserman regrets flirty emails with Ghislaine Maxwell. Oh, they've identified the two Border Patrol agents that killed Alex Preddy. NPR News reporting. Okay. The two men that killed Alex Preddy, their names, Jesus Ochoa and Border Patrol agent Jesus Ochoa, CPB, Customs and Border Patrol officer Raimundo Gutierrez. Jesus Ochoa, Raimundo Gutierrez. The Guardian. Deputy U.S. Attorney General says victims want to be made whole, but that doesn't mean we can just create evidence. That's not how that works. So remember, Donald Trump's going to die, and there's going to be a lot of people that are enablers of his that we need to make sure that we know. Todd Blanche. Okay? God, all the men look the same. More than 100 Canada Review Agency employees fired for misconduct and CERB payments. I wonder if that's like insubordination, time theft, inappropriate workplace behavior. It's Canada stuff. It's okay. Every now and then we're gonna be talking about like news and politics. We'll hit a story that's not us. You know what I mean? Historic cold snap leaves iguanas immobilized in southern Florida. 1,000 green iguanas turned into what's FWC? Oh, Federal Wildlife Commission. I was like, oh my God, they turned into something else? No. 1,000 iguanas frozen. Federal judge orders the widespread voting rights restoration for Virginians. Virginia law violates a post-Civil War rule in a court decision that could make hundreds of thousands of people eligible to vote again. Isn't that interesting? Hey, I'm all about making people more able to vote. All right, is important. 150 militants killed in a 40-hour battle. Resource-rich Balochistan is Pakistan's largest province, also its poorest. Couple hundred people. We're gonna talk about this, and I don't know if we've actually talked about India possibly banning social media, but there's another fucking country. AP News reporting an undercover investigation of Meta heads to trial in New Mexico in the first standalone case by the state. Attorney General Raul Torres filed a suit in 2023 accusing Meta of creating a marketplace and breeding ground for predators who target children. CNN.com reporting leftist and liberal gun groups are seeing a rush of new members. Weekend classes at LA Progressive Shooters sold out through March. Registrations for Permit to Carry courses at Pink Pistols Twin Cities, which serves LGBTQ people in the Minneapolis and St. Paul area, are up an average of 5 people a class. National spokesperson for the Liberal Gun Club? Come on. Pink Pistol Club? Come on, that shit's hilarious. Aim for the fucking head. Fuck all these Nazis. And fucking pedophiles. And sex pests. Here's the director of Melania, Brett Ratner, cuddling what appear to be probably underage girls with Jeffrey Epstein in the same fucking photo. Think we're done here with news. Let's talk about politics. ICE.gov reporting Miguel Angel Garcia Hernandez, a 31-year-old from Mexico, died in September. You remember the person that was sniping at people at the ICE facility, and people are all confused, and the FBI tried to say they had anti-ICE messaging written on their shit. They only shot detainees. So if we got our fucking targets messed up, apparently. And then last night, Donald Trump raged at Trevor Noah, who made a joke about Donald Trump, and it landed. And this, what is important, the reason Donald Trump's so pissed is because the joke was good. A specific joke. It was right after Billie Eilish got Song of the Year for Wildflower. The DOJ makes bizarre attempts to redact Trump's face in Epstein file photos. So just understand, they might as well be called the Trump files. We keep calling them the Epstein files. A classified whistleblower complaint against Tulsi Gabbard stalls within her agency. Congress hasn't seen the complaint, which was filed 8 months ago with the U.S. intelligence agency's community watchdog. Tulsi Gabbard's face looks like it wants to not be on her face. You know what I'm saying? New Republic reporting this is going to be a grim week for Haitians in Springfield, Ohio, out of the New Republic. Their temporary protected status ends at midnight Tuesday, and then the question is what is going to happen on Wednesday in Springfield, Ohio. And by the way, if you're looking for a fun game to play, my wife and I are playing Fallout 76, and that's awesome. We actually got to play. It was fun. And then I'm also playing Where Winds Meet, for the vibes. It is a lot calmer than most games you'll ever play, a lot more peaceful. It is a traditional Japanese ARPG. I welcome you to join. Huffington Post reporting Marjorie Taylor Greene is denouncing MAGA and Trump and speaking a lot more, sounding a lot more like a progressive, and fuck Marjorie Taylor Greene too. An APAC linked group faces test of its political power in a New Jersey primary. A group affiliated with APAC faces its first big test. They're trying to primary for a Mickey Sherrill seat. The super PAC is called the United Democracy Project. Has spent over $2 million attacking former Rep. Tom Malinowski, one of the frontrunners. What APAC seems to be demanding is just a blind blank check support for the current prime minister, and I don't think that's what most pro-Israel Jewish Americans want. I don't think that's what most Israelis want. Oh. Oh. I am not pro-Israel. So, free HIV drugs save lives. One state. We're about to figure out which state that is. But the Washington Post decided we did not deserve to do that without paying. NPR reporting the Department of Education's attempt to fire its staff cost over $28 million. Euronews reporting Germany stores 1,236 tons of gold in the U.S. Some politicians want to repatriate those reserves. I agree. They should get their money out of the U.S. while they can. Dying old men who've done accomplished nothing. I knew Independent News reporting Donald Trump may live to regret his victory lap over these Epstein files. I agree. He's been acting like he could say whatever he wants and oh it was a hoax, so it's whatever, and it's just like no, dude. Like Al Jazeera reporting Cuba denies a security threat. Havana says it is ready for constructive engagement with Washington. LA Times reporting Andy Bashir. Is that him? Let's talk about Billie Eilish, one of my favorite musicians. She had a little something to say for Ice at the Grammys. AP News reporting fundraising hauls show the RNC is vastly outpacing Democrats, saying 170 plus $1 million. They're out raising Democrat. They can't win a fucking race to save their lives, and they're out fundraising Democrats. That tells you how little faith people really have in what Democrats are capable of doing because we all know they're friends. And that as soon as Donald Trump dies, they're going to try to mend fences. We're going to reach across the aisle. All that type shit. PBS reporting here's a list of powerful men named in the Epstein files. Health subsidies expire. Marketplace enrollment takes a big dip in Ohio. I'm starting to have more conversations with people that are not buying health insurance. I'm having conversations with people that say, Jared, I was on just insurance for myself. I was spending hundreds of dollars a month just to have the coverage. And then I had to pay a fee to go see a doctor to get like my annual checkup done. I stopped paying for healthcare and now I don't have to pay that money every month. And when I went to see my doctor without insurance, it cost $50 instead of 20 for that once a year appointment. So I'll go ahead and pocket $3,600 and I'll pay you $30 more. Oh, there's blood work. It was $100. Here you go. We're still up thousands of dollars on that single doctor visit and whatever they had to do. And that also tends to work out for, as long as you're like reasonably healthy, that'll be fine for you. It's just like if you get real sick or if you are real sick, you have to have health care. And with those subsidies expiring, I mean, people who are already living paycheck to paycheck are going to be living even more paycheck to paycheck. So, newly released interview, Jeffrey Epstein was asked, "Do you think you're the devil himself?" The AP News reporting this goofy little shit. Mike Johnson faces tough days ahead. He's going to have to make some real tough decisions over ICE. Many Haitians may not be able to work in the U.S. That will make caring for the elderly much harder. Per CNN. Here's Trevor Noah roasting Nicki Minaj over her support for Donald Trump. CNN reporting Bad Bunny uses their Grammy Award win to protest ICE. And you know what? I didn't feel that way at all. I thought it was a sweet speech. I have to sneeze. Stand by. Sorry. And you're welcome. I thought it was a very nice speech. The New Yorker reporter reporting Gavin Newsom's playing the long game. This is supposed to be Democrats' best shot in 2028. The federal agents who fired at Alex Preddy are from South Texas. So imagine being Border Patrol from South Texas and going to Minneapolis and murdering a man and then just getting ID'd and just going back home. That's going to go well for you? New York Times reporting the government reported a bunch of nude photos. The government published dozens of nude photos. The U.S. government. All willy nilly. He's pro billionaire and anti homeless. That's what's wrong with Gavin Newsom. They're going to furlough 10,000 air traffic controllers as part of the FAA. A shutdown plan released by the Department of Transportation on Thursday involves the furlough of 10,000 federal aviation workers. Plan also states 13,835 air traffic controllers will not receive pay during the shutdown, which follows extensive shutdown from late last year that put a strain on the aviation system. So Donald Trump thinks them not getting paid makes Democrats look bad for not negotiating to keep the government open. Thank you. Gosh, so much tracking on this. Mike was right. Hope Mike's all right. Hey, this is a good potential story here. Betsy Klein says I've covered Melania Trump for more than a decade. Here's what I learned from her new documentary. She's the ugliest one of them all, right? I'm reading. I don't care, do you? CBS News reporting former Capitol riot prosecutors are drafting a strategy for Congress to probe killings and federal agent conduct in Minneapolis. A half a dozen former U.S. Capitol insurrection prosecutors who helped lead the largest criminal prosecution in American history have crafted a strategy memo to prompt Congress to investigate potential misconduct. I think I complained about it being cold and saying there aren't any protests because it's cold. And I think that was right around the time that we said, the next No Kings protest is the end of March. And he made a comment, and this is no disrespect to Mike. He made a comment that like it's not too cold for me, and I'll go out there every day and record him. And I haven't seen him since. So I hope he didn't get picked up by ICE. You know what I'm saying? I hope he's just like pissed that people ain't protesting as much. You know what I mean? But hell, you never know. He might have just had some shit going on. CBS News reporting Gregory Bovino used language offensive to Jews on a conference call. How you gonna be like pro-Israel and anti-Jew? I just don't. Man, Common Dreams reporting from Maine to Minnesota and beyond. Tens of thousands march to demand ICE out. They want ICE out of their communities. I mean, you gotta understand, the guy was in our chat every day saying he's going to video ice. Excuse me. CBS News reporting agents were pursuing an immigrant when they killed Alex Preddy. Jose Huerta Shuma, a man hiding in distress. Gosh. Top 25 finalists announced for Chicago's new Name the Snowplow contest, and the top are Abolish Ice and Chance the Scraper, and I'm pro both of those things. No, it's all good. I love the people that are regulars of the show that are like, I had shit to do. I'm so sorry. And it's like, oh no, I'm just glad you're okay. I haven't seen Mike in a while. Anybody seen Mike? Talk to Mike at all? Mike, our buddy that goes and videotapes ICE where they live. No, 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 no. We're not restoring trust. We're not training people. Jamie Raskin vows to hold the Clintons in contempt as long as Pam Bondi's part of it. Hey, maybe he got tired of us sitting here. I'm sure people got tired of me saying I was going to do something. I was going to start the American Socialist Party. The cost of living rose a lot. And it makes it very difficult to separate, right? Save money, be able to put money back. And we're talking about, I got to take $1,000, money, some of your money, mostly my money. I got to take that out of my money, and then it has to go somewhere else, and we can't like get it back, right? So the good news is that within about the next month we should be good here. I should be able to have the money to pay my bills and have the money left over to establish the American Socialist Party and it not break me. I know, wild thoughts, right? Totally. Totally. Yeah, I've been thinking about Mike lately too, where I'm like, I don't see Mike anymore. Maybe he just got tired, you know? I can see how um, Truth Out reporting the hard part about fighting fascism comes after the fascists have fallen. And also, I do have to talk about this because otherwise I'll never get to talk about this ever again in my life. Part of the reason that we are not in the throes of the American Socialist Party and its rise. Um, in February of last year, so a year ago, I sat in a meeting where my boss at work added a few paragraphs to the end of a conversation that I have every day for a living. And at the end of that conversation, it said, please save my contact information and don't hesitate to reach out to me directly. And that is not how it works. And I am a kind of person, if you tell me something to do, I'm just going to do it. Even if it fucking hurts me. And so I was losing money every month at my job. I'm like not making as much as I was, and I can't figure out why I'm doing what I'm supposed to do. And it turns out that every now and then your client wants to talk to you after they've enrolled, and if they go to call in and try to communicate with you and they're unable to do so, they're going to get real pissed off and cancel. And so no one at my work could figure it out. It took us a fucking year, and then the day before Christmas. So, uh, what, like 5 weeks ago? I sat in a meeting where my boss said, "Oh, you should change this to save my email because they can only email you after they buy." Hadn't said that out of his mouth. Everybody in the room's like, "Oh, that's why people are canceling on us?" And he's like, "Whoa, whoa, 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 whoa." And he went on fucking vacation for 2 weeks after that. Okay? Well, I'm happy to sit here and tell you that I haven't had a cancel since. And so I'm sorry, as of right now, that we didn't go ahead and establish the American Socialist Party. Um, it was like I was under a spell, and it was negatively impacting my ability to make money at work, and it made money really tight at home, and I don't have the extra money to just like throw into this, right? So I had to ask you for help, and I haven't forgot about that. Okay. But yeah, if anybody, Jesus Christ, the Bulwark is reporting that the Melania movie is a $75 million bribe. Here. And also the Bulwark, by the way. Exclamation point, question mark. Okay? I'm also thrilled that I haven't had to like watch Melania for journalistic purposes. So shout out to you as an audience for not demanding it of me. Like, hey, you are a journalist. You're supposed to watch shit film. You know, it's kind of the gig. Except it ain't. Now, let's check the weather and get out of here. Okay? Jeez.
Moving across the top row, Seagirt, New Jersey.
Oh man, cold advisory in Florida, snow, snow, snow. The weather is increasingly in. Apparently, it costs $75 million to make Melania, the movie. The good news is we're looking at a bunch of over 50,000 people without power in Tennessee and Mississippi. 14 to 20 degree wind chills in Florida. Oh my God. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So here's the map, okay, of the weather in the U.S. Okay, moisture related. Okay, obviously, I feel like these are things that we should be expecting. Moisture and rain type shit in Washington, in Oregon. That's kind of like where that, yeah. And then eastern Montana up into North Dakota, South Dakota, Canada. There's a little moisture in, I noticed, west and San Francisco area. Let's see. Starting in Louisiana, and then yeah, it's just gonna be real cold, and it might, yeah, 14 to 20 degree with a wind chill there in southern Georgia, almost down at, not in Miami, but if you live in Tennessee, let's see, eastern South Carolina, eastern North Carolina, and up along the coast. Bitter cold with some snow. Pretty positive. It looks like the weather's like intense, dipping, intense, dipping, intense. So it's varying intensity levels over the day. There's definitely a wall of fucking snow in eastern Indiana pushing into Ohio and east. So that's going to hit New York. But who knows what actually is going to happen today, right? That's why you got to keep your head on a swivel. No fucking surprises. And we'll see you tomorrow. Like push the button to stop and like nothing fucking happened. Like, yeah, great. All right.